Turbonator 3000 is a machine designed for small businesses. This machine allows bending tubes using hydraulic piston to grip the tube and with the help of an electric motor. The tube is bent, allowing up to 90 degrees bending.
There are several types of bender on the market. Those that are commonly used by small companies are manual benders. These benders need the physical force of the user to achieve the bending the tube. In addition, the user must be moving and accommodating the tube to give all the bends he needs. It takes time and nerve, which ends up making the user less productive. On the other hand, we have the industrial benders. These are large and heavy but very effective. They manage to bend a tube in an instant, and for the user the only effort involved is to press buttons. Having one of these machines implies a great investment of money and space management, since due to their size and weight they are difficult to move, so they will have to be placed in an exclusive place for machine. Our machine seeks to have the advantage of both benders, being a light machine compared to the industrial ones, and therefore being easy to transport, and using the force of the motors and controllers to bend the tubes.
As mentioned before, this machine was designed for small components, so when choosing the materials, this was taken into account. For the structure, for the machine, a 14 YG galvanized part 2 for 2 inch will be used. This material is cheap and resist, making it perfect for the machine. The cylinders will be manufactured from scratch based on the NOM 114 SCFL 2016, but the pump, hose, and more will be purchased. For the rest of the materials to be used, such as the sensors, the Arduino, etc. Multiple distributors will be used since finding these elements in Durango City and a lot low cost would be difficult, almost impossible. These dealers that we have are altered cybernetic means such as Mercado Libre or Amazon. Regarding the construction process, we will use MIG welding. This will allow us to do clean and fast job. For the cylinders, we will use a CNC to give the necessary shape and fittings.
For your control system, this machine will have a microcontroller from the Arduino brand. Mega model. This choice was made since the machine has simple mechanisms and elements that do not require a high level of data processing, which helps to leave a low cost. For electrical system, there will be the use of 10 gauge cables for the motor of an horsepower and proto wire for the sensor and drivers. In the case of an HP motor, an octocoupler system will be used to control its ignition, movement, and switch down. This circuit will allow the motor to be controlled to start and to avoid voltage spikes, giving greater security to the electrical system. In addition, the same circuit will have protection in the event of a short circuit. As a protection, the drag chains are used. This protection will be used in the cables of the chuck motors. In order to keep a safe movement and without complications, and for the rest of the cables, protects real cable will be used. And this will vary in size depending on whether they cover proto wire or 20 gauge cables. This will be strategically attached to the structure.
This machine will have a control panel, which will be the place where the microcontroller is located. This control panel will have several functions. The first will be the use of the piston. With the green button, the piston can be activated, and with the red button, the piston can be deactivated. It's necessary to remark that it can only be deactivated just and when the machine is not bending tubes. If is not the case, this button will be disabled. The second set of buttons will be for the chuck. With them, you can open and close the chuck. With this button kit, something similar happens with those of the piston. If the machine is bending, both buttons will be disabled. On the right side of the panel, we will have a small screen that will be with which we can configure it by means of a potentiometer the degrees that the tube will bend. Also, to roll a switch, this part will have two functions. The first is to bend the tube, and the second is to rotate the tube on its own axis to make more than one type of bending. In addition to this, we will have two buttons with which you can adjust the distance of the chunks, making it advance or reverse if is necessary. But this will only be possible before activating the piston, because if the piston is activated, these buttons will be deactivated. Finally, as a security measure, on the control panel it's going to be an emergency stop button, with which all the process will be stopped if is pressed.
To achieve optimum working condition, the machine has some specifications. One of them is the minimum length of the tubes it can work with. The shape of a full double of 90 degrees, it's recommended that the tubes of 1 meter or greater be used. Another piece of information to take in account regarding tubes is their diameter. This machine is designed to work with 2.5-inch tubes, but it will not be limited to tubes of that size because it will have interchangeable models to work with tubes of up to 1 inch.